these teams is heading to Championship Sunday. And who's it going to be on the upper side? K-Corp, Gentlemates. Let's find out right now.
All right, Stumpy, one more series left before we head into Championship Sunday. Zen and Atso have been the story of this event, but Gentlemates and Karmine Corp are surely the teams that can match that performance. And I've got a feeling this one goes the distance. Let's go ahead and drop in Game 1, presented by Progressive. Who you got so far, Stumpy?
To me, it's going to be hard to go against the current major champions in Karmine Corp. They look like, obviously, they are the best team in the world right now after that performance as well. But if there's two players that can really peak on their day, it's going to be Nass and Oski. They've won majors, or a major based off that. I think in current form, I'd have to give the edge towards Karmine Corp, though. I think they, to me, feel just as unbeatable. Bear in mind that yesterday, they won with even greater scorelines than we saw Zato win with.
You're right,
so they set records. They were scorigami monsters.
I mean, setting records, scoring 10 and 3. And that's, that's also, though, you can't discredit. Maybe we saw more goals, but I think the quality of goals on the side of Gentlemates was something that you just simply can't ignore. Everybody's talking about Nass. Of course, Oski's been supporting him really well, but Nass, man, he dominated the top 10. That's why I picked this team, Gentlemates particularly, to beat KC, but it can really swing each way. And at this point, we're seeing action on both sides. Vatira looking for a little bit of patience in the midfield, waiting for the midfield boost, trying to bait somebody in, and he's just stalling behind the ball.
Just trying to make sure that somebody comes in to challenge him so he can then try and beat. He does manage to beat him in the end, and Oski will be out juicing. That's going to be that 2v1, exactly what you don't want. Oski demos, Nass is on target, Juicy cannot swipe, and to kick things off, Gentlemates strike first.
And you really just can't paint a better picture. That's Oski taking the midfield boost. He was running on empty, still kept the momentum, snagged the boost, and then went forward, trusting his teammate in Nass to get that shot on target. Finds the demo. A routine twos play, but one that's difficult to execute against a team that is so lethal. Gentlemates on top first.
Thing is, there's still going to be a very quick response at the end of this. And it is Vatira coming straight back through. It's going to be a nice low dunk from him. Just has to beat one, as Oski's going to be low on boost. Nass does have to insta-challenge. Vatira forces him high. He attempts to, at least, and then Vatira can then lay off the boost, take it low, knows that Oski's going to be in that back corner. If it's on target, it's going to find its way in, and that is exactly what managed to happen.
And one of those goals are just so weird because they don't seem as layered as they might, or as they actually are, excuse me. Can't even speak about it because it's such a complicated 50-50. It looks like it's just pinching past one player.
It's pure psychology, that goal.
Right. You have to know where Vatira wants to go with the ball. If he's trying to get underneath it, it almost worked as a fake. Those challenges are going to continue to pay a lot of damage. Very, very important here for KC. Vatira's always been dominant on that challenge game, and here he is once more stuffing the 50-50 on offense. He's right in front of the net, stays behind the ball, a little bit of a dash on the sidewall, and he's got just enough boost to keep the momentum forward.
It's a lovely 50, drops it dead central. Juicy can wait and lurk, see what happens. And it's all of those backup plans that you need in 2v2. You are the last line of defense and the first line of offense at any given point. You're going to want to try and help out your teammate out however you can. Oski might just get in the way of Vatira, but Juicy can end up beating him. It's going to be a 1v1. Juicy versus Nass. Back corner boost taken. Nass is now completely empty with that back corner gone. He's going to be low for a while. Oski has to get a good save here. And what a lovely touch into the corner that is.
Oh, yeah. He's still winning 50-50s, but it did pop out. Right to Vatira. Nass a little bit scared. At first didn't see his rotation come through, but looks like they're finding that formation on the defensive side. Gentlemates. Even if you find the formation, it doesn't matter. You're getting demoed. They look to be clean and in the right spot. And Juicy knew that, taking out Nass, leading the way.
It's too much power there for Oski, where there's a lot of it going on towards target. He has to get the clear, but instead of it hitting the corner, then bouncing out wide, it ends up hitting the sidewall and going straight back central. So the attacking KC player can just get it back mid again, and the demo just opens things up even more. A bit of an error there from Oski, and it's going to be full advantage taken by KC. 3 to the good.
They're just still losing challenges. I mean, I'm on Juicy's perspective right now. so cleanly, winning every 50-50 I see him go into. And even here, he's faking it. Look at it. It's those little plays, man, that create the space. You need somebody like that, and I think that's why Juicy and Vatira work so well together. But it's almost like you're taking the leash off of Vatira, and he could just go crazy.
Nice chance for a 50 there from nass. Does get popped high. Vatira has to slow things down in that corner. Nass with a double, nearly the triple. Ends up hitting both woodworks, but neither of them really finding their way in. All post and out, as far as the board is concerned. Not much boost here for Oski, so Juicy wants an early challenge and does so. Can also pinch it high and above. Sends Nass scurrying back into the orange half. The time running out and 2 goals to bring back. Oski has to get aggressive. He does do it, and then the reset. Nass beats Vatira, but cannot usurp Juicy on the goal line.
Well, you've seen that play so many times.
Oh, what a pre-jump.
Oh, and Juicy's always in the way and still winning the challenges. I'm telling you, man, this guy, he has been so crucial to the success of KC at this point. You might see Vatira, you know, having some flashy plays, but Juicy, he can do it all. And there he is on the air dribble. Nass back right in front of the box. They're trying to get something, a couple of tester shots. They don't look too comfortable on offense. I've seen solid positioning when it comes to the defensive side, but these shots are between Nass. You've got to find that.
Pixel perfect from Juicy to get the save, but that really should have been in. Nass had a lot of the goal to shoot at, and he goes right above Juicy. It's barred down as well. That only serves to benefit him. Really not the shot that Nass needed. It could have been one to bring back. Oski ceiling pinches. Does find Nass, and Juicy with the instant challenge. As soon as this gets one more touch on it, which it will, Calming Corp. Game number 1 falls in their favor, and our series turns blue for now.
Turns blue for now, but you know things are still starting to heat up. Person forward and win a challenge, and hopefully it creates an opportunity. It's like they don't even have to be super aggressive. They know that they're going to win those small moments, and therefore they don't have to take a lot of risks, and we haven't seen that much from KC. What do Gentlemates have now in response after game 1? Are we going to get another one-sided blue matchup, or is there a little bit of fight left in Gentlemates?
It's Oski wanting to land the first punch. One touch into the dunk. Vatira manages to get a double save. Central again. Juicy, if that's on target, could be scary. Oski can receive, but another very heavy touch from him. Recovers it wonderfully. Does keep it away. With Nass diving in front of the goal. That's more what Oski wanted earlier. Just trying to roll it up the wall. Wasn't able to previously. Nass with the freight jump up into the flick, and he beats the final man. The mind games continue.
The mind games. I mean, a battle of psychology right now. He jumps early, then lands, and that catch has to be flawless. And of course, it's Nass. He was all over those highlights. Another top 10 potentially. As you're faking out the defense, then getting the flick.
That's exactly what you need. Gentlemates go ahead nice and early. They did in the previous game. Vatira up high, wants to use all of Oski's boost. It's a nice ceiling pinch, nearly the bump on Nass on the backboard, who can now attempt to do a highlight play from yesterday. Full court carry was on, but not enough booster or momentum on the ball to continue it. Vatira removed, courtesy of Oski. Does get 33 boost for the pleasure. With 1 and the reset round with Juicy now. Good bump on him, and Nass can challenge again. The shot from Nass not quite going to work, and right on the goal line, Vatira slows it down. That is bravery.
It just bounced so awkwardly. I don't think Oski knew how to pinch that one in. He almost had the ankle. Vati, look at the awareness. He could have just done nothing and let that ball slip out, even if it's on the goal line. Still a 1-goal game, but Gentlemates are knocking on this door, Stumpy.
I mean, that door is a battering ram at the moment. The big red key is very much out in action, trying to get through anywhere that they can. Finally, the pressure abates, and Calming Corp into the orange half all of a sudden.
Oski.
1-on-1. Yeah, Oski just didn't quite have enough boost to continue on that play. And now Vatira removes him. Nass is gone. Oski's in the other half, and Juicy runs riot.
I think we saw this pretty much exact play in game number 1. Vati moves forward. Juicy's already up for the shot, taking out the defender. Rinse, repeat. You've got yourself a tied-up game. Calming Corp, I was a little bit nervous for them. Their backs were against the wall. They were letting the ball stay on the goal line as it's halfway in, but clearly they know what they're doing.
It's also a pretty lax touch from Nass, realistically. This one he's hoping is going to be better. Good bump. Yeah, Nass just pops it up high. He wanted to pop it towards the backboard, so then the shooting angle would be impossible. Fortunately for him, he didn't have nearly enough power on it, so he just ends up setting up Juicy. So nass has had a couple of nightmare moments, I think, but also a couple of golden points where you can basically call this series so far 50-50 for him.
Right. I have been impressed, though, with Oski. I think he's been trying to play that support role for nass much better. Oh, I thought we were going to get a similar situation where it's hovering on the goal line, but no, this one is going to get past it and put KC up 2-1.
That's tough. That's a really tough position for nass. He wants Oski not to get dunked there. First man in 2v2, quick tip for you, don't get dunked. You cannot get dunked at any point. And nass, as he moves up a little bit further, as he has his right to do, he tries to just keep it away. He's not able to whatsoever. It was a lovely play from Karmine Corp. He's now with no boost, so Vatira Mo will take over. Instead, Juicy goes to low 50. Playing very close to the Gentlemates so far, and the 50s are not going their way that would allow this game plan to really pop off.
I do like the early challenges, though, out of Gentlemates. They don't let the ball linger too often in the air. You can see nass, oh, but very patient here. Clearly mixing things up. Able to take that 1v1 all by himself. He wanted to go coast to coast. He did it yesterday. Almost another one, but now here come KC. It's just a dogfight back and forth. Each team going the entire distance, Stumpy.
But it's the exact same situation. nass is low on boost. He pops it, and Vatira, that's cruel. He just waits. Because if nass then ends up not going for it and stays grounded, Vatira demos in, Juicy scores. If nass jumps, doesn't get the touch, then Vatira can just get the goal anyway, because it will fall nicely for him. If he does get the touch, as we just saw, Vatira scores regardless. That was a rock and a hard place. And it just continues even more. Karmine Corp are chasing Gentlemates at every opportunity. But Gentlemates do work out on their own half. Oski, a psycho, nearly back into his own half.
Well, and it's kind of surprising, though, that Vati is able to push forward, go for that overextension in the rotation, and then they don't get punished for it. Everybody committed there. Vati didn't get the demo, but somehow there wasn't a great opportunity out of Gentlemates. This one might be a good opportunity. Still no follow-up on the shot. Gentlemates have moments where they can strike, but they're not finding them.
It was well choreographed from nass there, at least. He slowed the game down because Vatira wanted to rush in, but Oski as the last man.
That's not on.
As Corp has told me many times, don't dive in. The one thing to do here, just don't get beat as that last man. And for any new 2v2 watchers, I hope you're seeing just how much more brutal and on the line every single moment in these games are.
Well, and you don't have that third man rotating back, obviously.
Yeah,
so when you go for a challenge, and the thing of it is, I feel like you don't even have to ask your teammate to get this insane 50-50. Ideally, you want them to win the challenge, but more than anything, and I keep using this word in twos because you have to always disrupt the ball. Just get a touch on it. If you're gonna lose the 50-50, get a touch on it, make the possession a bit more difficult so they can't immediately put a shot on target because you need to generate more space, more time, and here comes a juicy goal. What even happened here, Thumpy?
Look at the catch on the wall. We're going to see that back later. The immediate landing just with the front of his car to pop it out from the sidewall. The last man again diving in. I don't blame them. They're thinking the touch is going to go perpendicular to the wall. Instead, it pops out. It's brilliant. Perfect. Pixel perfect play.
We got to see that again. And I'm wondering, did he get a wave dash on the wall? I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. nass says, shut up. Look at me. Okay, I'm the guy who gets the highlight plays. I got the musty flick. I can do cool things too, except I might just be 3 goals down and you're not.
At the end of this game, nass is saying, look, let's just finish setting this one up. Let's just set this at 5-2. Let's make it so that we are done in this game. 3 to win rack in 20 seconds. It won't be happening. Karmine Corp, what a riot they are running here.
Truly, I mean, I feel the story is kind of unfolding right now. We just watched Zato, and now we don't have a nickname for Vatira Juicy yet. Maybe it will come to us as Oski. All right, wait 6 seconds. It's twos, Stumpy. I don't know.
And we're seeing a little bit of a delayed activation here by Gentlemates. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to necessarily be enough, but with 6 seconds, I'm always up for waiting and watching. Let's see. What's the kickoff strike going to be? A fake nearly gets to that second man. Instead, Oski's not able to make contact. Game 2 is straight to KC.
Oh, I saw that pinch. That's what Atso and Zen were going for in the last series. Almost connected there. Ball's going to hit the ground. KC still remain on.
Either it works or it doesn't quite work, and then they're back to defend against the counter.
Right. And if it doesn't quite work, they're still getting a touch on the ball, still finding ways to make it uncomfortable for Gentlemates. And you just can't say the same for the orange side. It's very black and white. It's all or nothing for this roster. They've got to find a way to balance things out. Nass up in the air. Solo play. Flip reset. Oski's waiting patiently in the background, and it's not going to come to him, but he can at least keep possession forward. And a good start out of Gentlemates in this game.
Yeah, this aggression is going to be paying dividends to them, hopefully. This needs to last a little bit longer to then work some of the boost away from the tanks of Karmine Corp. Juicy, immediate challenge into the midfield. Now Vatira has to get it away from Oski. Will we see a skim? No, Oski's up early to try and prevent that from happening. I like it. Just get a contingency plan. Make sure that he can't be styled on quite that much. Oski does beat Vatira. Lovely play into the double. The landing does not go his way, neither does the boost. But with the demo, nass finds the net completely vacant. And again, Gentlemates take first blood.
They take the first one, and that's a real good demo in the corner. Oski made use of all the few remaining pieces that he had in his tank of boost. Got a demo, got the pass off. Nass feeling good with that first goal, but how can they continue to build on this Stumpy? We've seen it before, but they need consistency.
And they just need also more either extended phases of play where they can properly commit into the opposite half, steal some boost, get some demos, whatever it is, or force some silly commits, make some two-on-one situations. You know, make it so the formation falls apart, because right now it shows no sign of falling apart under its own weight. Gentlemates need to add pressure.
Here's Vati behind the ball. Haven't seen as many demo attempts out of Vatira. Next, the midfield boost. Juicy's going to do a little bit of work by himself. A couple of tester shots. Back in the air, using the ceiling. We've seen it so many times before. Not as effective, but this is the type of pressure that you want if you're Casey. Keeping the ball in the opponent's half, stealing some boost, getting comfortable, locking things down.
Backboard, Oski has to defend, and it's going to be Juicy doing his best just to wait and lurk, and Oski sends him scurrying back into his own half. Nearly sneaks its way in. Nass is beaten, Oski is not, and then this is how quickly situations can turn around. A lovely read from Vatira. I don't know how he's done that.
I don't even know how you read that. That is the most awkward bounce from the corner, and he's up so early, preventing another catastrophe. Out of Gentlemates, past the midfield.
Wow.
A lot of work. Juicy! A snipe from the left corner.
And Vatira is just so persistent here. Right, that's so mechanical. Steals the boost, jumps, then gets a reverse wave dash on the wall as he lands, then face the other way with speed, and then instantly jumps off and passes it back to Juicy, who then has to sink it top left corner. Such a deceptively simple looking play, layers upon layers of mechanical brilliance. And again, he full carries it over both defenders. Vatira is on something else.
We've been witnessing that a lot, and I just casted that last game too. There's these small moments. Maybe it's because there's a lot of space on the field, or less players makes it somehow look less chaotic, so it's less impressive. But no, these are small, like you talked about, pixel perfect moments where every spin of the wheel, every little slight movement is make or break, do or die, and KC are walking that tightrope.
And that's exactly what we saw from Karmine Corp as well. Vatira does miss that one. That was a bit of an interesting choice. It was low on boost. I don't know if he thought that there was going to be somebody instant challenging him, but Juicy did bump away the final defender. He had space and time, so a little bit of a rare error from the man that won MVP at the Parisian Major. Good bump. Juicy with an open net. Again, riots are being run.
Oh, yeah. And it's always Vatira in the corner. That is just so much work. Juicy doesn't have to do much. You've got Vati. He wins the challenge at the 50, then deletes the last player on the goal line. Juicy's just got to be there for the consistent finish, which is what I was hoping would have been what we saw out of Man City. I wanted Acro to kind of play this role that Vatira's in, and Juicy could be Seiko, because that's the way that twos usually falls. You've got one aggressor making things uncomfortable, and somebody else consistently slotting away shots.
Nice reset from nass for the first venture into the blue half for a while for Gentlemates. Look at him just like trying to prod and lurk and try to make it so that Gentlemates do something. And here they are doing a lot of things. One reset into the second. nass beats the man that seemed unfallible.
Yeah, and it's just because Oski's making him uncomfortable. For once, you force him to jump early. He has to go for that challenge in a position he didn't want to be in. And nass has that reset, slots it home, all tied up. Gentlemates, is this finally where we see them find a little bit of resurgence?
And they're going to need it. Otherwise, they have to get the reverse sweep against a team that is looking pretty unstoppable. Vatira, 1-2, nearly the third. Has to call both defenders in. Try and clear it away. Juicy is a very aggressive positioning, and that's what's shutting down all of these counterattacks. Is the second man. They're not waiting back for Calming Corp. They are instantly challenging before any counterattack can really become a threat.
And it's just those rotations back. They can be risky because they have the movement to get back on defense so quickly, whether it's with the chain dashes, finding beautiful rotations on those pads and the corner boosts. They've always got a game plan. But so does Oski when he's in the air. What does he do with it is the question. Not a lot of boost. Trying to get that musty last second. Had good power, but just not good accuracy. And it's back to the hands of KC. 10 seconds to go.
And that's a chance of Juicy. Just get the reset, sends it low. nass in the corner. Now it's going to be a final chance for Gentlemates. To the ground. Juicy actually it didn't make contact with it. Now it's going to be a 2-on-1.
Oh, no.
Vatira, if we know him so far, it's going to be... Oh! He makes contact, he sends it wide, but as soon as Vatira pops that, you know he's going for the air dribble bump. And the immediate fake kickoff.
Yeah.
Gentlemates with good pressure.
Painful fake kickoff, too. He got demoed. Actually ended up working against KC. Vati, he has to find a touch. He does. Back over to the hands of Oski himself. Keep saying this man's name because he's always behind the ball, always going for those air dribbles. And still a couple of borderline close touches out of KC. They've got to find these hits, and they are.
I mean, there's a lot of plays here for Gentlemates that have the first few layers that are locked in. You know, they're getting one beat in the air, they're then getting one reset. But just so frequently, they can't get that final bit of action. nass here attempting again. Gets a brilliant touch to the backboard, but can't get the final touch that actually sinks the ball into the net.
Vati flicking it over in the midfield, still winning that challenge. Good speed out of Juicy,
Good
but
beat.
50. All right, things might turn into a 1v1, but no, Vatira eager to cut off that challenge. There's no boost from Juicy, which means all the space in the world will be given to Oski. He doesn't really do much with it. It's just back into the corner.
That's what I mean. Just they can't necessarily. The setup's a beginning, but there's no seeming ending to them. A minute 20 in. Juicy into the corner. One chance to get it towards Vatira. It's a fake in the end. Oski dives in, no contacts. Now nass has to do something about it. You don't want to get a solo player. It's going to be a low 50. nass is under pressure. Juicy lurks again with a 100 boost. You can just see what they're attempting to do, Calming Corp. They want to just beat one of the men, and then they can get one bump.
Yeah.
But that beat is currently not happening, so credit to Gentlemates for it.
They don't want to take the risky approach. They'll get a demo when they can afford to rotate forward. This is OT. First one we've seen in what feels like years. We've gotten a couple this weekend, but just not many. It's because these games are usually so high scoring, but this one, not as much. Coming down to the tiny touches. Vatira has to get a tiny touch there on the goal line, still saving it. It's back to Juicy.
I mean, this is absolutely Calming Corp's lowest scoring series, and good for them. It's going to be one more goal to add to their mountainous tally.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tough touch from Oski, and Vatira's positioning is sublime. Again, just touching it back into an awkward position, and in the end, Calming Corp are the benefactors.
And it's subtle, but that's Juicy waiting just a little bit. If you were to go back and rewatch that, he used the last bit of boost right before going into the challenge. So I think if you're anybody on the defensive side, you see Juicy flying in, you assume he has no boost, but he's kind of faking you out, uses it in the last moment, wins the 50, and of course Vatira is expecting it. Calming Corp, they dealt with their biggest obstacle so far against Gentlemates, who looked great. Like you said, Stumpy, they were able to generate things that looked like chances, but when it came to, I guess the finishing touches, there just wasn't any.
It was that play from Vatira.
He got to turn the fan on too. All right, it's getting hot in there. He's
Goes
cooking.
and speaks to his number one fan and manages to just cool off a little bit.
There's a reason why it came down to Gentlemates, KC, and of course Zen and Atso. Those are the guys that everybody thought could take the title of first 2v2 champions. And they're still in it, and they're showing it right now with Juicy trying to get a shot, but Oski at the save.
I mean, it's that, and also their chance to compete for a pretty meaty payday. You know, here on the online events and at LAN.
And you're going to Worlds.
To try and compete for $100,000 in the grand final. I mean, all these players are already going to Worlds. You know,
it's just
they just want to have another prize pool.
Yeah, the 3v3 money, then the 2v2 money. I mean, oh my God.
It's something that I think a lot of these players is going to be an extra layer of pride, as we saw from Nubo, for winning the inaugural event. You know, we still talk about Season 1 winners of the RLCS in a 3v3. We still talk about Nubo being that first 1v1 player to win in the RLCS. It was a huge point of pride for these guys to be the first to do it, not just one of many.
Not just one of many. Try to truly make history. Got the opportunity to play in the first ever 2v2s. It doesn't look like they are ungrateful for this opportunity. At least KC, I mean, they're making use of every moment they get to show us what they've got.
It's also the fact that you've got the win here would mean that you avoid Zatao in that semi-final. You go to the different side of the bracket. Right. You go to face the winner of City versus Chemistry. It's a lot easier, I think, compared to then heading over into the essentially Vitality Atao side of things.
And even though this is twos, it could be more frustrating for Gentlemates. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a rematch from Paris, where they were unable to take down the blue wall. Can't do it in twos. They're starting to build that curse where you just can't seem to get past these guys.
Oski up for that double. It has to be a tight angle. It's going to be a miss instead. Oh, Vatira, the fact they even went for that meant that nass couldn't. Vatira, though he was low on boost, he makes it that bit more awkward. Oski will not jump for that as Juicy's on the backboard. Full court carry for Juicy. Reset, double attempt. Just wide. Vatira's there to clean things up, but it's a slow shot.
And you'd think that somebody would capitalize. I mean, that's a slow shot out of KC. Certainly, nass is going to put this one away. He has the reset. It's going to be wide. And there's moments where you've got KC pushing forward, and they don't get the goal, and you're thinking, okay, this is where Gentlemates strike back, but they don't. Vati underneath the ball. Doesn't win against two players, but still a good enough 50-50 to set Juicy back up. And I'm asking, when are we going to get more out of Gentlemates, Stumpy?
I mean, Gentlemates have gone ahead in at least 3 of the games. Chance for a psycho there for Juicy. Gone ahead on at least 3 of the games so far, or 2 of the games rather. They just can't actually finish what they've started. That's their problem. This game is a lot better technically because, yes, they've not gone ahead, but it feels a bit more competitive. They've not sort of had that burden of one goal that has fallen in their favor. But it's obviously technically worse because then they don't have that one goal that they can at least hold on to.
Right. But they've managed to do well against the offense of Vati Juicy. Been a lot of demo attempts, bump plays, Juicy behind the ball. Moments where things have been weak out of Gentlemates in the defensive side. They've stood tall, and now it's time to strike. Like I said, on the offense. When can they capitalize? There's moments where KC do push up too much.
Yeah.
Just waiting on it.
And just in those moments, though, KC, they almost set themselves up by stealing some boost, meaning that the fast counterattack isn't possible. So it becomes a little bit harder to actually get the counterattack against Karmine Corp. But as we enter the final minute, Vatira and Juicy are going to be on a tear with a reset. Vatira needs to beat one. He does not do so. Juicy's there. He slow rolls them and sinks it.
I just love the positioning of Juicy. You've got Oski who flew forward. He's light years away from getting back on defense. And Juicy, all he has to do is wait patiently and know that that challenge will stay right in front of the goal line. Probably the easiest goal Juicy's going to get all series long. And it couldn't come at a better moment with just under a minute to go as they're about to take the series.
Extremely vital minute. Bear in mind, whoever loses this is not going to be out. They just go onto the safe side to face up against GK and then Zatao later on tomorrow. Got a huge Sunday coming. The Gentlemates have still got a chance here. It's a lovely pass central. Oski again doesn't commit. Not a good touch by Vatira. He just lands on it and gives mates a goal.
And you don't get mistakes like this often. Vatira was falling away from that pre-flip. He tried to get in front of it. I think he assumed maybe a faster shot or touch would come out of Gentlemates. But once you commit to the flip, there's really no changing the momentum, Stumpy, and you're landing on it and looking a little embarrassed.
Yeah, it's easy enough to happen, but you just don't want it to. Oski, chance for a double. It's going to have to be a tight angle. Vatira, perfect position for him. Covers the net nicely there with Juicy on nothing. Vatira on nothing. The iron is hot. Can Gentlemates strike? A reset. Juicy's on the back wall. He has to make contact. And his positioning, yet again, is dead on.
Right, here we go. Gentlemates needed nass to come up clutch. 5 seconds. There was a moment where he almost got that buzzer beater in the previous games. Come on, something here. Vati's not going to let that one drop. He's got too much boost. Plenty of opportunities, but that touch is going to get away from him. OT on the board.
And this is going to be the second overtime. Previous game took 2.25 minutes to finalize, and it ended up going to Carmine Corp, of course.
Oh, that's dropping down.
Straight towards Vatira. We've seen that a couple of times. He gets the first touch. Got the reset there, but nass can clear it away from him. But low boost, you're seeing those moments just build up, and Juicy, he puts the fear of God in nass as he can hear the boost start revving up behind him.
And I'm not seeing as many bump plays. I don't think Vatira wants to go for those. This is a 2-on-1 situation. And yeah, he's going to rotate back. Normally, I feel like we'd see him go for these bump plays. He's getting more aggressive. Maybe the OT is getting to his head. And opts to not go for a risky play. What's he going to do with this? Just boom it over to Juicy and see how they can brew up something special.
It's going to be a bump on nass, I think. It's going to be a tap down. What? Miscommunication. I thought there'd be a bump on nass from Vatira. Juicy thought the same. They could just go for it, but Vatira fancied passing the ball again. I think Vatira's in the wrong.
Well, I'm telling you, he's been more passive. Normally, we do see him go for these bump plays. He's getting aggressive. He leaves the ball, but here he doesn't want to give it up. A little bit selfish, a little bit greedy, but we know why. He's got the mechs to prove that he can keep the ball to himself. That's not going to be the reason why they get their winning goal just yet. 2 players back. Oski, nass, struggling to find the right formation. Ball's going to bounce out. Nass underneath it. Very patient. And here's Vati being patient himself. Doesn't want to overextend. Can he get a bump? No, he's going to get knocked out the way, and it's going back to the midfield.
I mean, it's do or die for Gentlemates. This is the only opportunity they're going to have, unless somehow they make it through into one of those finals. Vatira on the side, finds Oski, but a pinch mid again. Surely not Oski, cannot happen again. Vatira's going to be the first one to it, but a little bit too far, so has to take it corner bound instead. Oski low boost, good ambition, keeps it away from Vatira. Again, low boost, and you know a player's low, I think, when they bang it. They just get rid, they heat check, and Vatira, he's got enough wherewithal to keep this one away. Now Oski has boost. Now he has time, space, a reset, just wide. Vati versus nass, not a lick of boost between them. It's going to be the hook shot saved.
Oh, and I love these moments in 2v2 where it's big clear after big clear, 1v1s. Who can get the right counterattack and punish on the other, not winning out that 1v1. Maybe it's going to be Oski. Oh, just so much left on the table. Still, I've been on Vati's cam. He's getting more and more passive. When is he going to go for that bump? Who is it going to be? Who does he want to take out?
I mean, maybe it's Gentlemates, you know, just putting themselves in better situations where they can't be
harder to bump, right?
Yeah, where it becomes a lot more tough. Juicy full court carries into the corner. These bounces have done well for Carmine Corp previously. It may well happen again. Juicy does not fancy jumping for it. Lucky challenges from the back wall. Juicy with nothing and no touch is possible.
Oh, Juicy didn't rotate all the way back. I thought he was going to go for the midfield boost. Nass avoiding the bump from Vati. Still doing a little bit of work in the corner. Things have slowed down. There was a barrage of counterattacks. Wait, there's a counterattack right here from Oski. That's not the best touch. Juicy can't get underneath it. The ball falls in.
That's one. One on the journey.
Ooh,
one brick has been laid.
Step one.
And that's the closest Juicy. On Parc de Paris, we have seen Karmine Corp win in front of the Eiffel Tower just a couple of weeks ago. Can they shut down mates here yet again?
And I expect to get a much more aggressive KC. Maybe there's some hesitation out of Vatira just because he did make that earlier mistake and pre-flipped on top of the ball. Could have ruined a bit of it and a bit of his confidence. But this should be a completely different game. But you could also say that for Gentlemates, they finally got one under their belt. Maybe they're going to be moving differently on the field as well.
Oh, nass makes it very awkward. Vatira, again, time on the goal line, does end up taking it. And I think the wherewithal for me from Karmine Corp when they have got a chance on their goal line is very impressive. They've got no time there to think. They had no opportunity to slow the game down as Oski makes it rapid.
No, and you just got to get a touch. You got to put a hand up for Vati. Nothing, no connection. And he's been reading those usually very well. I think we were complimenting him earlier where he was able to get those crazy reads off the backboard. Nothing there. And Gentlemates say thank you for the free double tap.
Oski again wanting to sneak one more in and does so. We've seen Gentlemates get one goal early, and Gentlemates fans will know that they've lost in that position already. Juicy, he basically gives up, sees it fall in, and thinks, you know what? You've beaten me. Yeah, I'm not going to jump for this. I'm not going to go for it. I don't know why he's not jumped for it personally, but he clearly knew more than me. Pinch from nass is not successful, but it's the first time we've seen Gentlemates have a 2-goal lead in any game.
Well, Juicy must have just known he wasn't going to get a touch on the ball, but you'd still expect to see the hustle to be a sign of potential frustration. It's just real good on Gentlemates to get those first 2 goals. Feels like a curse has been lifted. The floodgates are open, and they're not stopping 3-0.
3 on the trot for Gentlemates. Finally, things are clicking. Unlike our production, they can actually finish their setups now. And Karmine Corp, they have to chase 3 goals back with only 1 minute and 15 gone.
I mean, this is a big hurdle, big obstacle. KC can do it. They've got to find that right formation. It's going to be even more difficult because I think the confidence is flowing through the veins of Gentlemates. Every challenge, every shot has a little bit more power behind it. Nass, slow underneath it. Nice catch. I think at this point, you can just cruise. You're in a 2v2 matchup. How many times has this happened in rain where you go 3-0-2s and you kind of lean back and say, okay, I don't really have to do much. Just got to win some 50-50s, and hopefully it's smooth sailing.
I feel like smooth sailing right now is exactly what Karmine Corp would like for this series to turn into. Just, okay, you've got your couple of goals, you've got your game, but end it there, fellas. Let's cut that out now. Let's not make it silly. As a pinch goes the opposite side of the pitch. The doink from Vatira, only as far as his 12-yard box, and Oski can have the immediate reception.
There's going to be more aggression from KC. They need to honestly stomp on the gas right now. Yeah. All the way down. They're just so passive, not taking any risks. Juicy's eagerly clearing it out there. He does take midfield boost, but the counterattack is so fast, so quick. You have to deal with it right away. I think we're
also seeing Karmine Corp. They haven't needed to give opportunities away in the for counterattacks. They've not been counterattacked. They have just been outplayed. And Gentlemates have played this game to absolute perfection so far. They have tried to batter them as often as they can.
Reset.
Juicy, nice little reset. Vatira though just wants to go for the immediate shot, and a double layer defense does keep it away.
Weird. I feel like normally we wouldn't see Vatira go for the immediate shot. He's usually more clever than that. I was expecting a fake or a chip off the backboard. It's very easy to see that they are desperate for at least 1 goal, something to get the ball rolling. And this could be it. It is Vatira off a little bit of pinball. He's going to squeeze this one in.
Well, from 0 to 100 seconds left, Vatira can just about squeeze it below the bar with a little bit of pinball. And it comes in the form of yet another dunk. 1 more dunk, 1 more bump, and the first goal in game number 5 for Karmine.
We've been waiting for it. Knew it was coming. It might just be a little bit later than the players here anticipated. They've also got 2 more to get under their belt just to tie things up. Juicy This could be the second. You're bumping
Oh,
nass,
wow.
who does avoid the bump, saves the reset, and is going to go ahead and get the clear.
Gets the other way as well, gets the goal, in fact.
Oh, my God.
An absolute masterclass. Rotates via the boost and all. Times it to perfection. The double tap off the wall. That could not have been any more perfect for an assassin.
I mean, a defensive showing, a masterclass there to dodge the demo. He saved the flip. I called it a reset, but he just saved the flip. He was already up in the air and had that one. Got a touch, then takes it down the other side. At this point, this is a player who can do no wrong. Reminded of the Boston Major Grand Finals performance. We know he's got just a lot of mechanics to unleash, and so does Vatira.
Sometimes, though, you talk about mechanics. This is just have a hook shot, toe punt it. Just give it a go. Oski has to cover the net. It's a good idea from him, but Vatira's already read that play. Send it wide off the side and immediately have it rebound back to you. Brilliant play from Carmine. But still the advantage until nass slow plays it and Vatira sees the door ajar.
Oh, there's just no smiles on the cams. You know that's a painful one to give up. nass. He cheated up too much. I still feel like he could have flipped into it. It was a weird bit of momentum. You saw his speed abruptly change and he flew past the ball. No correction. And you're given, an inch to KC, they might take a mile.
I mean, they're going to have to try and take just a couple of more goals here. They're going to be getting the dub. Has to get that one away. Does it awkwardly. nass is now beaten. 50 attempt from Juicy, but him with low boost. Both Oski and Vatira had 100. Both nass and Juicy had 0. And both teams were trying to get the ball to the opposite player. Right. Does go in favor of Carmine. Goes back in their own half. Yeah, that boost is back in favor.
Yeah. Thought something was going to break out. Vati. Looks like KC they just want to throw the ball into the corners, hope that a mistake comes out. But with barely any time left, wait, a mistake does come out. It's wide open.
No!
How did they know? They were just waiting for the defense to crumble.
It's a disaster. That's a cool level pinch. It goes straight back central. And Oski, another errant touch.
That's both players on Gentlemates making a crucial, critical mistake on defense. You can't be giving those up, especially when you're trying to get a reverse sweep after just getting step one completed and the ball's still up in the air. Oh no. Oh no, Stumpy. Okay, we're good. We're going to OT.
Oh my goodness. That Oski needed that ball to do quite literally anything else. nass commits very close on it. Juicy did not have the want to get too close on that 50 as he then rotates back round as nass gets rid of Juicy on that challenge. But Oski completely removing the ball from their possession.
Yeah, he just booms it to the corner. It might be the jitters, the nerves in this OT. Just committed a couple of mistakes. He just committed a crime on defense with that pinch previously, so he's trying to just purge himself from that. But Vati, off the ceiling, he still got the reset. Juicy wide open, top left, not gonna get it in, posting out.
Juicy moved a little bit too far forwards. If he's literally half a car length back, I think that ends up just going straight in. He'll have way more of a shooting chance. Oski now has got no boost. He leaves it to Vatira. Again, Juicy with the double. nass can clear it away this time, but nass has been left on his own with half a tank of boost repeatedly. It cannot continue.
Oh, it can't continue because he's getting a goal right now. OT is over. 5-4. You thought Gentlemates were weakened. They were limping on defense, but here they are, still to secure game number 2 for them, and the reverse sweep continues. It's Neo Tokyo. Yeah,
I did not think it would go this far. nass drops a sorry in chat as the referee asks what's up. It's okay. He's back. We're all right. Neo Tokyo championships have been won here. Can an upper bracket final be won here as well?
Oh boy, it's gonna come down to the mental game out of KC. I think Gentlemates were up against it too. They just committed 2 horrible defensive mistakes. Still fought back.
Good demo.
Trigger them, and that demo will smoothen out whatever mistakes or pain you experienced in the last game.
And that's reminiscent of the first couple of games as well. Get the pass, get the demo, get the goal, move on. Well, though we have seen the double wins back-to-back for Gentlemates to give them 2 games in this series to make it a lot tighter, attempting a reverse sweep. Anybody who has only recently joined us. But nass with 1 reset can't make it over the first defender, and so it falls to a 2v1 again. Nice play from Oski with an even better catch on the backboard. Really nice composure.
And that's good work too from nass to steal his own corner boost. I guess you wouldn't necessarily call it stealing, but Vatira was looking for it. If you can manage your own boost pads and 2s, it just relieves so much pressure. But hold on. Gonna have to deal with the pressure of Vati. Is he gonna recover off the flick? He does. 2-0.
That's a missed position here from nass. I was about to praise him because he turned back around on it, and then he goes out so wide and then jumps early. He then opens up his hand entirely to Vatira and says, mate, I've jumped. All you now need to do is get it past me here, and you do have a goal.
Well, he kind of
poor positioning.
He hit the brakes a little bit too. I thought the speed of his car looked awkward. Oski, nice speed on the shot. Juicy had him red though. And those defensive mistakes are showing once more. I feel like they're bleeding into this game, which is what got us into that OT previously. Surely this goal from nass though will give him a bit of safety.
Lovely shot from nass here. Oski forces the error. Vatira has to do something. And nass has to shoot low. Juicy almost gets to it, even with the in and out save. But nass has enough precision to bring 1 back. And Gentlemates, they stay alive in the series.
Staying alive, but not tied up. Still work to be done. Oh, beautiful 50. Winning over 2 of them. Can he get the pinch 2? That's the pinch that Oski was looking for in the last game. They didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm scarred from that.
That's going to haunt him.
Moment. Yeah, it's good. Well, I don't know. I mean, you won the game. Maybe he's not thinking about it too much, but you're thinking about Juicy and how he's approaching the ball. Vati, flip reset, still nothing. Almost halfway through this game. KC got out on the right foot, but Gentlemates slowly climbing back.
It's a good idea for the bump there from Vatira, but Oski just made sure that he challenged nice and low, challenged early, got the ball away from Juicy's attempt. Reset from Vatira, not quite enough speed on this one, so Oski again into the corner, but this setting up, the boost steals, the bumps. Vatira loses all momentum, can't get that corner boost, so this ball's going to speed up and just flirts with the idea of going in the net.
Just floats with it, hits the brakes. Oh! There was a demo. I believe this was nass. Did he go all the way corner to corner? He did. He's chasing out Juicy, steals their boost, then rotates back in, has the trust that Oski's gonna dish it to him. It comes out on a silver platter, and he's got the tied up goal.
It's a big dive for Vatira as well. He knows that Juicy's gone, so he thinks, all right, I'm just gonna immediately go on this. The net is left theoretically quite open on the other side, but Oski completely dusts him and outsped a Carmine Corp. Juicy, another chance, but nass into the corner.
I think that started off with a fake kickoff from KC.
Oh, miss!
They're a little slow to get back. What is going on in the midfield?
Another error. We've seen them get punished every time as well. Oh, sorry, no, I completely missaw. It was Oski with a fake rather. I thought that was one of the blue players.
He faked you.
He faked me. It was such a fake that I thought he was a completely different team.
I mean, I don't even know why he jumped for it. I'm not gonna lie. I see him going up for it. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? And I guess it works as a fake. A little bit of a mirage.
Oh, double demo.
Smoke screen, double demo is gonna do it. We're back. All tied up game.
I mean, end-to-end, 6 goals, double demos in just about 3 minutes. Vatira with a B, and then desperately chasing it to sneak it home into the net.
Yeah.
Almost every kickoff right now has led to a goal.
It's just scrappy, Stumpy. This game, it's just devolved into chaos. Demos, weird fakes, double demos. Vatira's always up in the air. nass is going for those flip resets. And we've only got 2 minutes to figure out who can actually get that game-winning goal.
And Vatira and nass have already got 600 points each. They are outscoring their teammates double on both sides. A true head-to-head. nass comes in, does get that save as Oski forces Vatira shot high.
But I guess that's what you want with the points, the disparity. The 2 players that are chasing the ball the most, always on top of it, you'd assume have the most points. They've got to make the biggest impact. Oski trying to make an impact, touching it back to the midfield. Oh, and this is a 1v1. Is Vatira going to go for the demo? Pinch off the ceiling. Kind of weird. Not sure why Juicy didn't just keep that to himself because he's giving away possession. And you've got a similar situation down on the other side.
Yeah, I didn't love that from Juicy. I think nass positioned really well. Goes on the backboard so he can be any height he needs to. Vatira can chase it, uses that flip, sends it into the backboard, but nass intelligently reads. Final minute is approaching. Juicy round one, but nass to collect. Does get the bump on Oski. It's going to go middle. nass on target. It all works out in the end.
I'm telling you, it looks like there's a mistake. Something's breaking down for Gentlemates, and it almost baits in Karmine Corp. They see the dysfunction in the defensive rotations out of Gentlemates. They push forward. They don't win the challenge, and all of a sudden the net's wide open. 4-3. Gentlemates, they've done it. And can they hold on?
Yeah, if I'm a Gentlemates fan, I'm still not believing that they have done it. This is still not Game 7. Not with how it's been. Vatira especially slams it into the crossbar. Juicy needing to chase it. This is where the game becomes hectic for Karmine Corp and needs to be placated and slowed down if you're the mates.
You cannot panic as you see KC extend more and more. They're going to throw everything they have in the kitchen sink at the defense. Get aggressive, go for demos, use boost in moments where they usually wouldn't. Oski landed underneath the ball. Chip of a shot, but not going in. Nass still looking for something. Just trying to waste time at this point. He doesn't care if he gets the goal. He just has to run that clock down.
It's been 40 seconds or so since that goal, and he's only just entered the orange half. Was the first time, the only time that they need. Slowed down by Oski. Immediately sped up. On target. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Game 7.
Finally. This is what we wanted. The Game 7. And it's almost like a full circle moment here. Because if you think about last game, you know, we went to that OT. We had Gentlemates crumble in the final few seconds. This time, they are not. And I think Game 7 is going to deliver now the best of both sides. Gentlemates have shown up in the series. And we are going the distance, Stumpy.
This is, it's going to be 6 to end it, and the only win in this series so far. Gentlemates, Game 7, the reverse sweep on the table for the Gentle Suits. Will the blue wall continue to crack?
And this couldn't come at a better time. Doesn't feel like either team didn't earn their spot to make it all the way this late in the series. Gentlemates peaking. Karmine Corp have been playing well all series long, and Vatira usually leading the way as he is for the first goal.
Really nice play from Vatira. Just has to go full speed. As soon as he pops it, Oski has to jump, otherwise he's going to get air dribble bumped. So as soon as he's in the air, Vatira can either go for a low 50, which is what he's been doing a lot of the time to force the ball low, or because he knows that Juicy has already gone for that challenge, he just has to keep it high. Does so perfectly. Great play from Vatira, and the opening goal falls to KC.
I think that focus is going to be a lot sharper for KC, because you were harping on it, Stumpy, that they did go up, you know, those 2 goals, but maybe not. Nass. Oh my goodness, how did he even get through this by himself? I thought it was going to be a 2-man effort. It's just him alone.
I mean, this just encapsulates the series, right? Vatira does something beautiful. Nass does something beautiful. Juicy and Oski are there, doing their thing too. Both doing pretty well, ultimately.
They're just letting their teammates get 1,000 points.
Yeah. Both holding the house down. Oh, by the way, last game, Nass got 1,000. Vatira only got 950, so washed, question mark?
Rough game for our boy. We're going to have to check in on him. All right, Nass, what else is there? You're chain dashing on the sidewall. Game 7. You know, we're getting it all. We've seen now the 2 highlight players, the star players, and making an impact. And it's going to come down to these guys, Juicy and Oski. The people you were saying that are just waiting there, watching the game unfold. They have to make an impact. What can they bring to the table?
It's an absolute slobber knocker between the 2 titans in this lobby. And Juicy comes in and delivers a punch himself. 1 goal apiece for everyone bar Oski. It's a lovely kickoff. Ball goes straight towards Vatira, who parked himself middle of the pitch. If that went either side of him, that was going to be an instant goal, but thankfully for him, it was not the case. A reset found, a reset successful, a demo even more successful, and then a fake from Juicy. I wouldn't have hated him going for the immediate challenge, but if he knows that Vatira's gone, then I suppose, yeah, waiting may well have been the correct course of action.
Oh my goodness, that 50 from Oski. He was so high above the ball. I would have just surely thought he was going to win on that 50. But Vati definitely embracing the blue wall mentality on defense. Ball shot into the corner. More 50-50s. A battle of who has the strength, who has the muscle to continue forward in Game 7. So far, it has been KC. But we know Gentlemates have been hitting the gym, and maybe Oski can do a little bit of a bench press here and force it in.
Everybody getting involved in Champions Field Game 7. Oski this time with no boost, jumps and immediately turns to then be able to use his backflip flick as the dunking device on the final defender.
Muscle.
Every goal has been muscular, and it has been a joy to see every player come alive when it matters.
You gotta have the strength to get through these defenses. 50-50s are where it's at in this twos match because you're playing it safe. This is Game 7. Their tournament lives are not on the line, but you want to avoid playing against Zen and Atso. So crucial to just dodge them and create a better path for the grand finals.
But we all definitely want one in chat if you do want to see Juicy and Vatira against Zen and Atto. Everybody does. You all do. Don't lie to us. Halfway through this potential reverse sweep Game 7 as Oski receives ball. Nass, doink, on target. He flips instead. Could have been a doink. Instead ends up as a goal.
And I'm just so proud of Gentlemates. They're capitalizing. These are moments that we didn't see from them earlier on in the series. They'd have a moment where they could counterattack, but now the mechanics come over. Nass parks himself right under the ball. Little chip, little doink. And it's a flashy way to get into the third goal.
And exactly, 2.5 minutes through, 5 goals already. Chat liked it before, but this one really has been a slobber knocker of a Game 7.
A slobber knocker.
Juicy receives it midfield with the reset. Notice if he goes for one more touch, another reset. Second reset, not quite found. Used a lot of boost. Can't get the ball as far as he would have wanted.
It's all up to KC. Something has to break through. 2 minutes. Oski.
Oh, Oski.
Backboard is clear, but Juicy had him red. That is a dangerous read. You don't want to have to make that again if you're on the defense.
The target was found, by the way. Juicy had to make that touch. Oski had the missile locked and loaded. Shot it straight towards the blue net in the midfield with 100 seconds. Juicy has to avoid the bump. Immediately relieves pressure of the ball towards the backboard. Nass can receive. The right-hand wing with, again, not much boost himself. He sees the midfield boost. Spawn immediately goes back, grabs it. Sees Oski move past him. And we're seeing a lot less of these double commits coming in by both teams so far. They seem to be a lot more cohesive across the board.
Yeah, I love that touch, too, from Oski. It does... I think it's coming down to Oski and Juicy. How much of an impact can they make? That's Oski with a flip reset. Nass getting a bump. The demo relieves pressure, flicks it over to Oski. They're running laps around the offense, reloading the artillery with all of the boost on the blue side, continuing to mount more and more pressure. The shot's on target. Monty can't pitch it out. And we've got an extended lead from Gentlemates.
It felt so unlikely at the start of the series. And a defensive error from Vatira. He lets that ball go, and Oski lets it fly. Top left found, 2 clear. The reverse sweep, more than likely, but still work to do.
Oh, we've seen them fall, or at least get into OT a couple of games ago. The last few moments haven't been flawless out of Gentlemates, and they have an extended lead, but with what we're getting out of KC, I don't know if they have what it takes. Can they prove me wrong? Will they prove me wrong? Oski. Critical touches, more challenges coming their way, but they've just got to run this clock, Stumpy.
Yeah, this clock is going to be KC's worst nightmare. And it's going to be Oski and Nass's best friend. The return celebration. Nass shakes his tongue straight towards Vatira, who mocked him in Paris. Who did the celebration straight back in his face. 3 goals clear. Gentlemates have done almost every single inch of the work that they need to do. And in the final 15, it is going to be a parade.
Wow.
It felt unlikely. It felt impossible at times. Gentlemates, reverse sweep Carmine Corp, and they succeed their way through into the semi-finals.
Gentlemates, man, how have they done it? KC, they look to be unstoppable in those first few games. And they still managed to get into OT. They were fighting. This wasn't a moment where Vati, Juicy were dropping the controllers. The mental game was dropped immediately. No, these guys were also playing their A game, but Gentlemates were that good. Reverse sweep pulled off.